there. Sam here with you on Tuesday. What are we? September 4th here, kind of midday. And as it's a Tuesday, we look at traditional assets. So in this particular case, we did some polling amongst the members and have two I'm going to share with you today. First up is Square. Now look, boy, wow, I had not seen this chart in a while. Look at Square. This looks like crypto 2017. So it's actually a pretty straightforward chart here. So I've got a 4-hour here. So if I bring this over here and then reset here, it's hard not to call this a 1-2, right? So we've got the A, the B, we come down for the C. It's mighty deep for a 2, but we do stay internal. So I think that's not unreasonable to go with that as a 1-2. Here's the big 3. So even if we look down here at our oscillator, this was high probability. That's our 3. Now we have gone higher here because we're having the extension in the 5th. But still here, I like this as a 1-2-3. Now, it does look like we get this, which is not unlike what we saw in 2017 in crypto, where we're getting the truncated C wave. So we get our A, 3 waves into our B, down for the C. Now, so it's hard to pull. So if I'm grabbing that low up to my 3rd here, all right, so here's the A wave gets our 38. If I've got this right here, if this is A, B, and we come down for the C, so interestingly, Vegas wave. So look how when a market is trending, Vegas wave is really, really valuable just to let you know, is the trend sustaining? Where are we in that trend? Support. It's just always something. That's why I keep it on every chart that I bring up here. So 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Here's the 4. Now remember, an algo doesn't care about this being a truncated C wave in an ABC. It's just looking from dominant swings, right? So we get that. So note here what happens. So from this, that sure looks like an algo front run on that target. So then you got to look at that and think, well, if that's ABC, I'm going to pull from this low looking for the 2 because, again, an algo doesn't care about a truncated C wave. So if I look now, dig in here, and I'm working from this A low, as that's my lowest low, if I get this on here, up to the proposed wave 1 high. So if I did it here, so if you're thinking, oh, maybe that's 1-2, well, it's so first problem is you've got a 3-wave, you've got 3-wave structure here into that B wave. So then you might think, well, maybe it's from this pivot to this pivot. Well, it's, again, we're not out of bounds of what would be a 2-wave, but we break the 65. Now we tap it here, so that was likely getting defended there. They break it here. The 233 holds it, but I think the better call here is to work from the dominant low here. Often you'll see algos, they'll alternate pivots. So I'm pulling here from this 382, from this A wave here, giving me this. So I come up here a couple of ticks in front of the 618. I like that better. Very brief reaction at first target. We do get a pullback here at second target, so that tells me there's likely participation there. So now if I think about where I am in the count, if this is 1, 2, 3, A, B, C gives me my 4 here. Well, now what's this? Well, this would clearly sets up as a potential extension in the 5th. All right, so looks to me like we're just in the 3rd of the 5th. All right, so if I get this all up here higher, this all has to get moved up. So no signs of this stopping anytime soon. So just breaking it through. So this would be a tell. So this high probability, I've got this as 1-2, that looks solid. So 1-2, here's the 3. So let's check it. So again, this is kind of a judgment call. You got to check both of them. So from an Elliott perspective, I'd be pulling from this low, right? Looking for that relationship here. So I'm clear beyond the 100. So then you look at it here and go, well, could that be it? Well, the subdivision plays better this way. So if I were pulling it this way, so if I went from the absolute pivot, because I would want to check them both. So from this low, if I use that as the start of my 1 wave, in case I've got that wrong, well, does this help me with anything? Well, I'm still, even if I'm using that, and I've got this wrong, and this is A, B, C into a short C, and this is 1, 2, 1, 2. That is a possible alternate, although this 3-wave structure has me leaning much more into this as an A, B, C. Well, even if I look at on the assumption that I might have that wrong, or the possibility, well, we're still good here as a potential 3rd. So then you look and say, well, that sure looks like that's a 3rd. So it looks to me like I've got an extension in the 5th of the 5th. Pardon me. I'm in the fifth, I'm in my third, so it would be, so the reason I lean into this is because of the 4. So if we look at this retrace here from the 2 through the 3, well, I'm to the 38 by the tick. All right, so here's first target, little reaction, but we're pushing towards third target here, which implies that I'm now in 1, 2, 3. All right, so if I've got this right, the fact that we don't overlap, that we hold 38 to the tick, I like this count in terms of moving off of this area here, whichever one of these is the low. They both play technically in that we don't overlap is this high probability, that's my 1, or a 1 of some degree. So I've got 1, 2, 3 down for my 4, and it looks like I'm getting the extension here in the 5th. So I'm in the third of the 5th of the 5th. Right, so looking for the stacking 5s up here. So now I look at this 1, 2. Well, of course, same thing. We just measure it. Say, okay, where are we in the context of those probability zones where we might look for that? Well, we're already through the high probability. So for a real extension here, for a ultra high target, would be the 2, 6, 1. If this can keep getting legs, no sign of any divergence here, although we're getting pretty extreme here. So volume is still good. Here's our peak of the oscillator. So if we're going to get any pullback here, all that's going to do is set up the 4 and the 5. So, but if this is going to continue to roll here, this is not an unreasonable target at the 2618 relative to the length of this 1. So I certainly wouldn't be doing, well, if I were in this, I'm not in this. If I were in this, I'd just be letting it roll. Right? No signs of anything slowing down there. If I do ultimately get this pivot up here, which would be my 2618, well, then just is standard ops, right? So if, now I'm hypothetical here, if we were to pivot up here, well, in a move this strong, I'd be looking for the 38, or so the stronger the trend, the more shallow you'll typically find the retracement in the 4. So all of this kind of tees us up for more movement up here. So 108 seems like a reasonable target. Again, I don't have my pivot here. I don't know. This could be the 3 for all I know. I don't know yet where that pivot is here. But right now, it's just game on. There's not a lot with regards to the market geometry, although I did notice this, right? So it's always worth checking this because you think, well, it's too far beyond it. But if I take this 1 wave here, project down to my 2. Well, let's see if I've got this. Let me get this dialed in here. Here's my 1. It's worth coming back to get these dialed in, and rather than be sloppy with it, which is often what will happen when you first just draw it. So there we go. That's fairly tight. So let's now pull back out. You know, so we've stayed in and now we've gone beyond it here. Kind of interesting. Not a lot here. So I wouldn't be adding the 4, 5, 6. So we're beyond the influence of this median line, not quite to the median line. I would keep looking here. I did put a GAN box on this just to see if I had anything here. We load here. We're so far beyond here. Not much help here. Is this just raging bull? So even if you, again, it's worth experimenting. Just see, do I have anything here? Not really. So I would just keep looking. Is there something I'm missing? Always worth doing this. Maybe it's from the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Does that do anything for me? Not really. So not there. I would just continue looking to it. Maybe it's from this pivot to the 1. Something will come into play eventually. And possibly here. You know, I want some geometry on it so I can get a look at it and see any influence here. Well, this, you know, for a corner pocket, right? We're so to and through, right? So we had the 618. So we had the corner pocket here realized, you know, extremely realized, right? So this 80% odds, well achieved. So now, you know, you kind of wait. You know, we need a deeper retracement to get anything to work with. The retracements have been short and sharp, and then the bullish move, the impulsive moves off of those retracements have been severe. So this is a raging bull. Again, it looks like crypto 2017. So just flying here. So nothing to do here unless you're long. You know, if you're currently long, you just let that roll. There's no signs of that slowing down. So I would just wait. So definitely an opportunity for the 4 into the 5. And then eventually there's going to be some retracement if and when we get up here for a 5. Well, if we're at 108, then somewhere around 60 is going to be your 50%. So got to wait and see where this tops. and then just if that's a completed 5-wave structure, then we just pull swing low to swing high, tee up to 50. There's your next trade. But I wouldn't be chasing up here. So if you're not in it, if you're in it, congratulations, good for you. If you're not in it, well, you certainly can't chase. You can't buy it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it, right? For all we know, this thing's going to 300, but there's just no advantage there. Where's your stop? Right down here under the 2. Well, that's a lot of risk. Otherwise, you're just randomly picking something. I wouldn't do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait for the 4. Trade the 5. Let that complete. If that's a completed 5-wave, you'd be looking to take some profit up there, and then just wait for the inevitable 2 that will come. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I can add there. It's just. Ooh. What a beautiful move. All right, guys, I'll be back to you shortly with another one.